got into it almost as well.
Oh, shit.
There you go. Come on, give me that tweet.
Nothing feels better than losing money when there's added money.
All right, we are live. What is going on, everybody? Apologies for any background noise you get. I've got a bunch of roofers directly above me just hammering it on out. 5-game slate on this final day of 2018. And I do mean 5-game slate. We will not be talking about the 3 o'clock game and the 5, whatever time those games are. Just not going to hit those today. Brought to you by Thrive, as always. Adam, how was your weekend?
It was good. Wow, it is Monday. I still have no idea what day it is. I was like, the weekend? What the hell are you talking about?
Yeah, the holidays are rough.
Yeah, no, it was good. Didn't do anything special. Watched the Reds. Actually, didn't watch the Redskins lose to the Eagles, so that was a plus. How was yours?
Oh, God, they're fucking hammering pretty aggressively right now. No, it was really good. Saturday was just a day of like acquiring all the things we need for our New Year's party today, and then we had some friends get into town yesterday, so we did a little bar hopping for the NFL games and came back and kind of just tried to chill as much as possible and not go too hard. We're a bit too old to go aggressively on the day before New Year's and then follow that up, and I certainly didn't want to get really belligerently hammered last night and then wake up to do this. So. And we knew the roofers were going to be coming, so 7:45 wake-up call was happening, whether we liked it or not.
Yeah, I was gonna say doing the show after you get belligerently hammered isn't really that bad, but with the roofers, I imagine it'll be a nightmare.
Very much so. There's no avoiding it. One of our friends was like, "Yeah." All of a sudden, we heard this commotion, and I looked out the window, and there was just a guy on a ladder outside. Just like, that'll do it.
So you didn't give them a heads up that they were coming?
They knew, but I mean, you're not thinking about that when you're in a different house, and that's immediately how you wake up.
Yeah,
it takes a little bit to put the pieces together. As usual, we are brought to you by Thrive Fantasy. Thrive Fantasy is it's a new site that is in the player prop space. So instead of the traditional way you'd be building a lineup, you're picking a player prop from the top 20 props of the day. You need to pick 10, whether it's players' points or rebounds, assists, or a combination of those things. You're picking whether they go over or under that number. And you have to kind of balance in whether or not you think other people will be doing the same or even picking that prop. So there's a lot of game theory involved. At the end of this show, Adam and I will go over our 5 favorite Thrive props. If you're looking to sign up, I will drop the link in the chat, but that would be bit.ly/Awesemo. If you want to sign up through us, link is being dropped into the chat right now. bit.ly/Awesemo. But yeah, we'll drop it in again, go over the promo at the end while we are picking our favorite props. $10 bonus for a $10 deposit, $20 bonus for a $100 deposit, and $50 bonus for $200. There we go. You ready to talk this 5-gamer?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out why. I'm trying to register Yahoo, and it's not giving me the normal screen to just add all my entries. I'm really confused.
I don't enjoy adding my entries. I really don't.
I don't mind adding them. I don't like making them.
Well, yeah, I can put a dummy in really quickly and click that plus sign 9 more times. But what I really need is the ability to upload a CSV.
Yeah.
We haven't gotten hit with late news that affects me in any of these contests yet, to the point where I really need to make some changes. That's not going to be a fun day.
Yeah, it happened yesterday. It wasn't really fun.
Embiid?
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't play anything yesterday from an NBA perspective, just NFL. So, yay me.
But yeah, I'm not getting that +1 button, and I don't know why, but it's annoying me.
Well, that should be fun. Just manually enter all 20 if you're playing the $1 one as well, which I assume you are.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into this. First game up on the docket. It's a barn burner. Sort of. Rockets Grizzlies. Rockets 103.25 implied total. Grizzlies 97.75. Rockets 5.5 point favorites at home. They have the second lowest implied total, and they're the favorites by a substantial margin. Grizzlies super low, 97.75. No one even close to them. This is a slow game, man. This is a slog. But we still have James Harden, 12-6 on FanDuel, 11-4 on DraftKings, $57 on Yahoo, and no Eric Gordon now. So if James Harden wasn't shouldering enough of the load, I have him projected right now for a 44% usage rate. What do we do with Harden here? Because this game sucks.
Yeah, I mean, the game sucks. Harden obviously is matchup proof. So, especially on a 5-game slate, I mean, obviously you have Anthony Davis in a great spot at that price point. And if there's anyone that I'll play over Harden, then it's Davis. But yeah, I mean, he has like a 42.5% usage rate without Paul and Melo on the floor this year. That's only going to go up when you replace, Eric Gordon. So, especially because they're replacing with Austin Rivers. It's not even like they're putting Gerald Green out there or something. So now you're going to have Daniel House and Austin Rivers and PJ Tucker in the starting lineup. I don't really know how they do anything other than James Harden just shooting the ball and lobbing it to Capella.
Yeah, I don't. I could probably stand to bump Capella's usage up slightly, but I have Harden at 44 for this game and no one else above 20.
Yeah, I would get Capella probably. I'm running the numbers now, but I would guess I end up with him around like 21.
Yeah, it seems like I could safely get up just slightly. I don't think it'll matter all that much. Both guys will be in my player pools. Harden's my number 2 shooting guard on Yahoo. Price agnostic, just kind of ranking by value. God, this game is just a really unappealing fantasy game. So no issues with Capella then, I assume?
No, especially at 7,400 on DraftKings. I don't know how his price tag is determined there, but it hasn't made sense all season, and it sure as hell doesn't make sense now. He's better when he does get a benefit, even ignoring Eric Gordon, with Chris Paul being out, because it's just more time that he's playing solely with James Harden, and you're just getting that pick and roll game between them where he becomes more efficient. And then obviously he's just playing more minutes this year than he ever has. This is obviously a matchup where he'll be on the floor as long as he's not fouling. So, I just think it's really tough not to pay off that price tag.
Yeah, totally agree there. Now we need to talk about the rest of these guys. So I think that Austin Rivers is, I don't want to say a nice play because it's Austin Rivers, but he's 3,800 still on FanDuel. So a perfect drop candidate in a situation where he basically has to play as many minutes as he can handle. He's the flat minimum on Yahoo, so this is perfect. Hammering's really picking up here.
They're going to town right now.
They're like, oh, he started the show. Let's go for it. I wouldn't want Austin Rivers on DraftKings, but I think he's perfectly fine on FanDuel and Yahoo at essentially the minimum on both.
Yeah, no chance in hell I'm playing $4,900 Austin Rivers. I'd rather play $3,700 Gerald Green on DraftKings, or even take a chance on $3,000 Brandon Knight, maybe getting more than like 12 minutes. He was recalled when Gordon was ruled out. So yeah, I'm with you. Like a FanDuel play on Rivers, it's not that you expect anything from him. I mean, the guy's like a 0.6 fantasy point per minute guy. He's still not going to touch the ball with James Harden out there, except for spot up shots. So you're not expecting anything other than basically whatever. It's like PJ Tucker.
Yeah.
Except without the defensive stats and rebounding.
Yep. Yeah, I don't disagree. You're only playing him on FanDuel because you can drop him, and you're only playing him on Yahoo because, well, it's a 5-game slate, and there will be slightly less $10 guys to play than normal. Could you please stop the damn hammering? Yeah, I would love to, Scott. I would love to. Unfortunately, I'm confident they're going to continue hammering for like the next 6 hours at my house. So, really great.
Dude, how did you not get a hotel?
Because it's New Year's Eve.
Yeah, good call.
Yeah. We didn't know they were coming. Well, I mean, like we did, but like we didn't get to pick today. It's not like we were like, you know what we should do? We should get a new roof on New Year's Eve. I mean, we didn't know they were coming yesterday, like legit. We woke up to them just scraping all of the shingles off our roof at 7:45 with absolutely no notice.
Oh, God. Yeah, that sounds terrible.
It was really bad. And then they left and then came back, and today is going to be the day that they finish. And, well, you guys are going to get to hear every bit of this. Anybody else from Houston that catches your eye, like as a, I don't want to say must play, but like anything else you care about?
No, I mean, mentioned, I don't mind mixing in some Gerald Green. Just kind of to double back to Harden. So this is the way I'm viewing the matchup with Memphis is like, obviously I still really, really like James Harden. I'm still projecting him for a ton of points because even though Memphis is slow and they're good defensively, if the Rockets score 103 points, Harden's still just so involved on all of that. But I will say that this is the first time since Paul's been out that, at least as of right now, I'm not like adamant that James Harden is the best play regardless of ownership. Like, I will gladly, if he's going to be, you know, like 2 times as highly owned as Anthony Davis, I would think that I gladly would just take Davis.
Yeah, I'm with you there. This is just an unappealing game for Harden.
Yeah, every other game so far, it's just been like, unless it's like 5 times the other guy, you're just an idiot for not playing Harden.
Yeah. Memphis side, I find mildly interesting. Marc Gasol, 8,600 on FanDuel, 7,200 on DK, $31 on Yahoo. I don't have any aversion to it, but it's not that interesting. Conley is the guy that I want. $30 on Yahoo. He's one of my better point guard plays. Do you have a preference between the two?
I think they're both, you know, really good. Like, I have DraftKings pricing up, and Gasol's $400 less, so he becomes appealing there, except for the fact that he's a center, obviously.
Yeah.
But I think they're both, you know, perfectly fine plays.
Yeah, I've been getting a lot of Conley lately. I had him Saturday night, I guess, against Boston. Was that Saturday? Yeah, I guess it was. Friday or Saturday, whenever that was. So I was happy there. I'm also getting a lot of our boy, Jaren Jackson, $18 on Yahoo, 61 on FanDuel, 53 on DK. You going to Jackson?
I like that the price tags come down. I think he had gotten to where he was a little too expensive for the role that he's playing now. The addition of Joakim Noah has taken away most, if not all, of those backup center minutes in games that he plays, and so that obviously, you know, just kind of makes him less productive because it's more time on the floor with Marc Gasol. It's less time at the 5, which we know are more productive minutes. With the price tag coming down, I think that you can still get there. It's just that there's been risk with him all season long, but now it's like kind of more risk, I guess.
Imagine taking his backup center minutes and trying to give them the Joakim Noah.
Yeah.
In this day and age in the NBA, where he is like basically the athletic version of Brook Lopez. Just let him shoot.
Yep.
And let him shoot at the backup 5. Let him play every single minute that Marc Gasol is not on the floor as the backup center, and whatever else you want to do after that. It's so crazy. Here's one I'm not really super excited to talk about. Slow-mo. 6K on FanDuel, 4,800 on DraftKings, $17 on Yahoo. How do we not get him today?
I don't know. I've been getting more of him than I would like on most slates. Like, the other day, I kept getting him against Boston. Like, I don't know why, just kept getting him. The price is just cheap. Like, he's not a really volatile guy. He doesn't normally give you that upside, but he plays, you know, 32 to 34 minutes, and he does contribute in every category. So once in a while, you do get him, you know, putting everything together. It's not a good Houston defense, so you know, has that working in his favor. I don't have a problem with him.
Yeah, I'm getting him a lot. The 0.91 fantasy point per minute guy over the last 30 days. It's just, he's like so sneaky about it. You never feel like he really gets there, and then all of a sudden there's that day where you don't have him. He's like 7% owned, and he puts up a 50 burger at 5K, and you're like, what the? Oh, today was the day. Get it? I get it. So I'm going to have him, and I'm not going to be really stoked about it. And again, I'm just playing Yahoo today. It's New Year's Eve. I'm not trying to like play across 3 sites. I'd prefer to just not have to even look at this stuff today. Yeah, Kyle Anderson is my number 2 small forward on Yahoo tonight at $17.
Sounds like you're going to have a fun New Year's Eve.
Yeah, that's the way to ring it in. Take one last absolute beating. Thanks to slow-mo, where he's going to put up 7. He'll play 24 minutes. Do you want anything else here? Jermichael Green, Garrett Temple, I don't know. Nobody, probably.
I think I had like a weird dream about Garrett Temple shooting well.
Oh my God, dude. How sad are your dreams?
He was on the Wizards, though.
Okay.
Oh, no.
That's even sadder, I guess, that you're having dreams about Garrett Temple. As if like that's the missing link.
That's how bad the Wizards have gotten. Is I miss the Garrett Temple days. But yeah, no, I don't have anything else from this game.
Do you think anyone's ever dreamed about Garrett Temple before today?
Probably not in any context, basketball or otherwise.
No. Oh my God, that's funny and so sad. We're way too close to sports if that's the type of dream that could happen.
I'm hoping I had a dream because I woke up thinking about Garrett Temple, so I'm hoping it was because of a dream.
Oh God. I have a lot more comments that I don't think are appropriate for this show. So
I'll be signing out of the room as soon as the show ends and muting my Slack.
yeah, that's probably a safe bet. Because I'm going to make sure I pull the audio and drop that. There's now they're above me. I'm going to make sure I drop that audio in just so no one misses it. Because let's be honest, our side Slack, no one's listening to this shit. Spurs and Celtics.
Emacs probably listening.
That's true. Let's move on. But first and foremost, everybody, hit that like button. Drop a comment with some positive encouragement heading into the new year. You don't get any free stuff for it this time, but it's just nice. San Antonio Spurs hosting the Boston Celtics, 107.75 implied total for the Spurs, 109.25 for the Celtics, and 140 hammer hits in the next 5 minutes. Oh, God. Again, not a terribly appealing fantasy game. However, both defenses are good, but there's there's 16 additional points in this game compared to Rockets Grizzlies. Not exactly what you normally expect out of Spurs and Celtics. So we'll start on the Spurs side. $9K for DeRozan, 82 on DK, $37 on Yahoo. And then we also have very cheap LaMarcus Aldridge at $8K, $7,500, and $29 across all three sites. Any preference to DeRozan or Aldridge? What do you want to do here with these guys?
I like them both.
Yeah.
We talk about it all the time that these guys play big minutes when the game is competitive, especially DeRozan. You can count on for 37 or 38. Aldridge normally in that 32 to 34 range. And both of them are still just getting a ton of usage. Over the last month, 29.8% for DeRozan, 29.2% for Aldridge. Aldridge has actually been slightly better than DeRozan on a per minute basis, but both are between 1.15 and 1.2 fantasy points per minute. It's not obviously not an appealing matchup, but I just think that the price tags are a little cheap, especially for tournaments. I mean, either of these guys can go out there and throw up 50 for you, and I wouldn't imagine that they're going to be popular.
Yeah, I'm with you there. 29 for Aldridge on Yahoo is really cheap. There's a lot of ceiling there, in my opinion. No problems going to either guy on either FanDuel or DK. My only aversion is basically just Boston's defense. Otherwise, they're right there. They've both been way better than I think most people probably realize over the last 30 days. So it's really weird to see LaMarcus Aldridge priced at $7,500 on DraftKings, but I think that's probably just a testament to all of the pricing in that area just being good.
Yeah, it's been frustrating because I've been saying for a while that he's too cheap, and then I build my lineups and I'm like, I barely have any LaMarcus Aldridge, and then it's like, LaMarcus Aldridge went for 48 or LaMarcus Aldridge went for 50.
Yeah.
But just because everyone around them is also underpriced, unless you're making an effort to get him in because of his low ownership, he's just not a guy that's going to pop in if you're just using projections.
Anybody else from the Spurs? Because I don't really see anything of value unless you're a really big. I don't even have anybody to name.
Yeah, I mean, Derek White's price tag jumped to 45. You have Forbes still at 42. Those were guys that I was cool with rotating with for a while because you were kind of happy if they got you that 28 to 30 point game. But now it's much less appealing. Rudy Gay occasionally, he's the guy there that has upside and is cheap. I think. Obviously, it's inconsistent, but with his price tag coming back down to 5,500, I don't think it would be shocking if he was helpful.
Agreed. Boston side, I mean, this is almost a complete zero for me. I don't really see anybody that's appealing. Gordon Hayward on DraftKings for 4,700, I guess. Otherwise, 9,400 for Kyrie, 89 on DK, 44 on Yahoo. He can provide a ceiling game at that price, but I don't have anything that's appealing from Boston. Do you?
No, same thing here. I mean, Kyrie in tournaments is obviously fine, but if you're, kind of just looking across positions, 8,900 Kyrie or 8,200 DeRozan, I think the answer is DeRozan.
Mm-hmm.
from a projection standpoint at least. So, if you wanted to run, correlate plays with like DeRozan paired with Irving or something like that, obviously if someone goes off from Boston, you expect it to be Kyrie. It's just that as a standalone play, he's kind of more expensive than other guys. Like, Conley was what, $1,300 less expensive than Kyrie.
Yeah. I don't have anybody on Yahoo, DK, or FanDuel that's terribly interesting, unless you believe that today is the day where Gordon Hayward starts to like turn it back up.
Gordon Hayward is more dead to me than Jimmy Butler is.
Jesus. 0.89 fantasy points per minute.
I think, didn't he have one game where he scored like 55 fantasy points?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, so I think maybe he's averaging like 0.65 points per minute outside of that game.
Let me see if I have him anywhere here. Gordon Hayward. God, it's fucking hammering. Yeah, he went for 56 on December 1st. This was Yahoo, but either way. 10 for 10 from the line.
Wow. Is Rudy Gay out? I hadn't seen that.
Not that I'm aware of. You check.
It's entirely possible.
Huh? It's questionable.
Okay. I'll say it's entirely possible. I missed it, but
if he's out, Bertans, I guess.
Yeah, I would expect more minutes for Bertans. I would expect
probably a little bit more for Bellinelli.
Yeah. I was trying to think. I mean, it's not a spot where I would expect them to play Aldridge next to Poeltl.
Dante Cunningham probably gets minutes that become useless.
That's where most of the minutes would go, I think. And then you would get like a few for Bertans, you get a few for Bellinelli.
Yeah. Yeah, it shouldn't really matter all that much outside of it makes Bertans be a viable-ish punt play.
It makes DeRozan and Aldridge better, I think.
Yeah, I would agree. It's not like they're adding someone that's going to be dominating the ball. It's
right. And Rudy Gay, like, not only does he have like a 21% usage rate, he also picks up assists. Like, he facilitates, he rebounds, he scores. Whoever they replace him with is doing less of all three of those things. Wow. So DeRozan has played over the last month. DeRozan has played 203 minutes without Rudy Gay on the floor. He has a 38.5% usage rate.
Ooh.
I'm seeing what happens if I put him next to LaMarcus Aldridge. We get so 115 minutes over the last month with Aldridge on the floor and Gay off. DeRozan has averaged 1.4 DraftKings points per minute with a 36.1% usage rate. And for the season, he has played 418 minutes, 31.9% usage, 1.23 DraftKings points per minute.
Okay. Something to keep in mind there if we do get news that Rudy Gay is out. Want to move on from this game?
Yeah.
All right. 2 games in, 22 minutes down. This might be our first hour show.
Yeah, I think it's possible.
New Orleans Pelicans hosting the Minnesota Timberwolves, 113. I don't know if this line is right. I made up a line this morning. It didn't have a line.
I see 118, 112.
Okay. Yeah, there was no line on this game or the other game or the next game when I first did this. So let me make a quick tweak to these. We have... Where'd it go? 5.5. Yeah, I had 230 total. That was close there. And then Dallas, OKC is -8. I had 7. Way bigger total, though. That'll be fun to talk about. All right. 118 implied total for the Pels. 112.5 for the Wolves. Nice little fast-paced, high offense game. Potentially Elfrid Payton back today?
Yeah, probably.
That should be fun. I don't know. Yeah. He's probably not fantasy viable anywhere today, but that's, I think, a good thing for the Pels.
I assume he plays like 30 plus, right?
I have him in for 25 right now. I mean, obviously, it's a hand injury, so like I'm not super worried about him tweaking a hammy or anything weird.
I know he's been
certainly could. Does it matter to you? Like, if he's playing 30, do you want him?
I mean, he's 5,400 on DraftKings, so I think like it still wouldn't be a core play, but I think that I would get some. Like, I think that the difference between 26 and like 30 is probably the like tipping point for Payton. I'm trying to pull up because he was hurt again like before this injury. and I'm trying to remember what they did with him when he came back. Um, oh, he played 8 minutes and got hurt again, so that's useless.
Yeah, he basically came back and broke his finger immediately and came right
Yeah.
back out of the game.
Yeah, I was thinking he played 1 game and then got hurt, but no, he played 8 minutes and then got hurt.
I can see them not letting him just completely go to work because he's been out a long time now.
Yeah, I think it depends on really what he's been doing in practices. Like, if he's been practicing for, 2 weeks and just not ready to play in an NBA game, I would think he's fine.
Yeah.
If, he's been on the floor for the last 3 days, then I would guess that he's not in shape.
Yeah. Keep an eye on it. We'll see if we get any minutes news. It doesn't impact really anyone else on the team. It's just whether or not he becomes like more viable. Like, he's only going to take those minutes from like Tim Frazier or someone that doesn't need them and isn't fantasy viable anyway. So let's start with AD. 12. Well, I guess we started with Elfrid Payton. Let's move to AD. 12-7 on FanDuel, 11-5 on DraftKings, $58 on Yahoo. I love him here. That probably comes as no surprise. I don't really care all that much about the price tag on this 5-gamer. There are only so many options, and I think this game is the best sort of game to attack. What do you want to do with AD?
Yeah, I mean, I like the matchup a lot. I obviously love him. It just comes down to definitely paying close attention to ownership between him and James Harden.
Yeah.
Also, I think it depends on the site. I don't have the FanDuel pricing in front of me, but just with how the scoring goes, Davis is more valuable on FanDuel than James Harden is. There's no double-double or triple-double bonus. You lose a full point for turnovers, which we know Harden's going to have plenty of.
Yeah.
And then you get more points for blocks. So Davis just is actually the more valuable play, I think.
Yeah, AD is $100 more expensive than Harden tonight.
Yeah, see, I think Davis probably projects higher for me, or at least very close on FanDuel.
Especially with the gap in game quality.
Right.
Like, I mean, they are playing in basically two opposite games. Pelicans projected to score 15 more points than the Rockets today. Yeah. Same for the Wolves. There's just too many fantasy points to go around.
Yeah, I really want just the lower owned of these two.
Yeah, and I'd be really happy if it was AD.
Right.
Ooh, ownership is out. Let's take a look and see what we've got going on here. Oh, God. So hungry. I'm dreaming about lunch already. So far off.
Eating it with Garrett Temple?
I wish. FanDuel, Harden 28, AD 23. So I would prefer AD in that scenario for sure. Did I say FanDuel? I meant DraftKings.
You said it was 28 Harden and 23 Davis?
Yep. On FanDuel, it's AD 31, Harden 23.
Yeah, I think that makes sense on FanDuel, though.
Yeah.
The thing that's scaring me right now, and I'm trying to bump Davis as much as I can, but I still have Harden projected for like considerably more points than Davis on DraftKings.
I have AD by 0.4.
I think at the moment I might be a little bit low on AD, but I have Harden by like 5.
Okay. And I have their ceiling separated by a point, also AD. How many minutes do you have AD in for?
40.
Okay. I have him in for 38. So
I have them both in for 40. Like, it's probably a little high. I just don't mind it with those guys.
I have them both at 38. There you go.
Yeah, basically I just want them together.
Absolutely. Drew, 93 on FanDuel, 85 on DK, 41 on Yahoo. Not really for me.
No, I don't really see getting there. His price tag on DraftKings in a vacuum is nice at 8,500, but when you look at the rest of the team, obviously we love Anthony Davis, but Julius Randle's still $600 less. Peyton, potentially is viable at 5,400. Yeah. I don't plan on playing that many Pelicans on a team, so it just kind of naturally, because of the other options on this team, makes him a secondary play.
Plus, Booker $200 cheaper if you're just looking for guys in that area. DeMar $300 cheaper. If you're into Oladipo or Kyrie, they're both only a couple $100 more. So tough sell for me with Drew, especially if Peyton's back.
Yeah.
Just one other guy to touch the ball.
Yep.
Randall 8,300 on FanDuel, 7,900 on DK, $36 on Yahoo. I'm a big fan of Randall in this spot.
Yeah, so am I. I like it a lot.
Yeah. He's my number one center on Yahoo. So get him in there, I guess. I'm playing monster minutes too.
Oh, yeah.
Really not looking forward to Mirotic coming back. And these guys being like fantasy not viable for like 3 or 4 days.
Yeah, like he's good for the team, but it just makes everyone suck for fantasy.
Yeah. Do you want to do anything with the rest of this squad? Any Eton Moore love by any chance?
I mean, if I get a little bit, I get a little bit.
Sure.
He's just been so damn bad. And Darius Miller is probable, so that doesn't help his minutes any.
No, this is it's not that interesting. Keep an eye on Elfrid Payton. That's really the only piece that you need here. Otherwise, everything else is generally obvious. Wolves side, 9,800 for Karl Anthony Towns, coming off quite the banger. 9,300 on DK, $42 on Yahoo. Any aversion to Towns here?
No, not at all.
Absolutely, it looks fantastic. I love this dude.
Do we have news yet on Rose and Teague? I know they said yesterday that they were better, but not going to play.
Sorry, I'm just looking at Towns' line from yesterday. 90 fucking fantasy points.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I had like 65%. He was 9% owned.
I didn't know that he had 9 stocks.
Yeah, he went
or that
nuts.
He fouled out.
What did you say?
I didn't know he fouled out.
Neither did I. Yeah, no, he set me up really, really nicely yesterday, and then Jimmy Butler and Lonzo and everyone just torpedoed it.
34, 18, and 7 with 6 and 3. Ooh, boy.
Would you say that's a helpful line in tournaments?
No, I mean Towns is usually just garbage. He never hits the ceiling game. I do love that he put it up on a Sunday when I didn't play though, on a day where I pretty much have him above the field constantly. So
well, he did go for like 74 the game before that.
That's true. Yeah, I'm totally in for Towns. It doesn't matter which site. He's obviously slightly better on FanDuel than he is on DK, just from a price perspective. 42 on Yahoo is also very appealing. I can't imagine not wanting to have him here.
Yeah, he's also better if one or both of the guards sit.
Yeah. Right now, I have both Rose and Teague in.
So do I.
I don't really see a way to project that otherwise. And I don't really have much else to say about those guys. I do want to touch on 2 other guys that are popping up a lot for me and get your opinion. Robert Covington, 6,500 on FanDuel, same exact price on DK, and then $24 on Yahoo. I assume you have zero interest in Covington on DraftKings at that price, but what do you think about it for FanDuel and for Yahoo?
I like the price tags there, especially because you have to roster that small forward. So obviously the price tag's more appealing than the DraftKings price. He's playing big minutes again. It is a nice matchup for him in terms of pace and defense.
Yeah.
So no problems with Covington.
Yeah, he's popping up a lot for me on Yahoo at 24, and then he's just, whether you want to say that he's a good price on FanDuel or dramatically overpriced on DK, you can avoid him there. 22% expected ownership for Covington on FanDuel. 3% on DK, so the price is telling the story as well. Now we got the next one. Andrew Wiggins, 6,300 on FanDuel, 5,900 on DK, $19 on Yahoo. I'm getting him as my number 1 shooting guard on Yahoo. Talk me off this.
Kind of depends on who's healthy for me. Like, he just hasn't been that productive when everyone's healthy. Like, since the Jimmy Butler trade, he's averaged 0.8 fantasy points per minute, and he's playing in competitive games probably like 34 minutes if everyone's healthy.
Yeah. What do you have him in for minutes-wise today with having Rose and Teague in?
34 right now.
Okay. So I have him in, what do you have Rose and Teague in for?
Should be 30 on Rose and then like 30 on Teague.
Okay, I have both of those guys at 28. And I still have Wiggins at 36. Might be being a bit too aggressive with the injury minutes on Rose and Teague, but I'm assuming one of them don't play. But I'm not really in any position to pick which one.
Right. Yeah, hopefully the Wolves just don't lie about it.
Yeah. So keep an eye on this one, but Covington and Wiggins are both guys that I am keeping my eye on Yahoo. Towns good across the board. I don't really think anybody else is viable on any site. Yeah,
Towns is easily my favorite play here, not surprisingly.
Yeah.
And I assume he will be less than 10% owned because he's always less than 10% owned.
Fantastic. It's a great game for him, too.
Yeah.
He's $200 cheaper than Vooch tonight.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I mean, the only thing that makes it tough for Towns is like you have Davis, you have Harden, and it's a 5-game slate, so there's going to be limited, good value.
Yep. Alrighty, moving on. OKC hosting the Dallas Mavericks, 115.75 implied total for the Thunder, 107.75 for the Mavs. It's 8-point favorites. This is a pretty solid fantasy game, all things considered, outside of the fact that the Thunder's defense is good. We'll start with Russ. 11.7 on FanDuel, 11K on DK, $52 on Yahoo. Where's he coming up for you in regards to balancing him against the other studs of the slate?
I forgot he was even on the slate.
There it is.
Yeah, I mean, it's with Paul George back, it's not that I have any issue with Westbrook. It's just that I project him more similarly to Karl Anthony Towns than I do to Davis or Harden.
Yeah, there's a huge gap between like what he's been lately and where he is in my model. And my model has it in the middle. Last 30 days, it's been not good for Russ, and just in general as his talent baseline, it's through the roof. So I'm trying to keep him sort of in the middle. He trades out acceptable. If I had him, I'm not like freaking out or anything. Implied total for this game is good. I think the pace is solid for Oklahoma City, so I'm not too upset about it, but he's not as appealing as Harden or AD for me.
Yeah, I mean, to put it in the context, like I have him projected for around 60 points. It's not like I'm looking at this like, damn, this isn't a good spot for Westbrook, or I don't like Westbrook. Yeah. It's just that I haven't projected. And again, like I'm still looking at baseline stuff, but I haven't projected for like 5 or 6 points less than Davis, who I have projected for like 4 or 5 points less than Harden. So it's
just a trickle down.
Yeah, and I haven't projected for slightly more than Towns.
There you go. What about Paul George? 10-3 on FanDuel, 9,400 on DraftKings, and $49 on Yahoo. Any interest across the board there?
I like George because people don't play him, and he's got not the same upside as Westbrook, but he's still got monster upside for less money. Like I'd still rather play Towns than George at basically the same price. But George has just been so good this season in terms of use in terms of scoring, but also contributing peripherals. That if I get some George, I'm fine with it.
Okay. Crazy low price on Steven Adams at FanDuel, $6,800. He's $7,000 on DraftKings, $27 on Yahoo. I'd be fine with Adams on FanDuel. I don't really see him as all that viable anywhere else.
Yeah, I can't see getting to 7K on DraftKings. Like even if he puts up like 40, it's kind of still just like a meh game at that price.
There's just too many other centers.
Yeah,
always. Oop, that's yep. Right. Jeremy Grant, Schroeder, any interest in these guys?
I don't see getting to Jeremy Grant now that he's up to 5,200. I don't mind taking some shots on Schroeder, especially if you don't have George or Westbrook, because this is an appealing game. There are going to be points here. Oklahoma City has the third highest implied total on the board.
Yeah.
And just because of the pricing of the slate, I think it'll be hard to prioritize Westbrook or George. So Schroeder gives you like he's the cheapest option out of the upside plays on Oklahoma City.
Yeah, I'm with you there. 5,800 FanDuel, 5,400 DK, $18 on Yahoo. I think that's the more appealing price of the three.
Yeah.
I think we're probably good on OKC. Move to Dallas. Hallelujah. 8,500 on FanDuel, 81 on DK, $34 on Yahoo. Not for me, but I love the dude.
He's so good.
I don't have anything to say. I don't expect to have him at all, but I wish I did because I'd really just like to cheer for him. It'd make for a more desirable day. I'd rather play Luka and do poorly than not play him and watch him play well without me.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's fine. Like he's
Oh yeah, I don't have a problem with it. I just I know I won't get him.
Yeah. I mean, I think I'll probably if I played like 150 lineups, I'd have some, but he's just not a priority.
Nah, he's priced too high, especially with what I assume Wes Matthews back, Dennis Smith Jr. now healthy again. Like just a couple $100 higher than he needs to be. DeAndre Jordan, 7,200 on FanDuel, 6,100 on DK, $28 on Yahoo. How do you manage DeAndre Jordan here at that price point?
I mean, 6,100 I think is just too cheap because of the floor he gives you. Again, it's not like he's a high usage center that very often is going to go out there and give you that monster game like a Karl Anthony Towns or someone like that can, or a Vooch or whatever. But it's just that it's tough for him to fail at 6,100. It's not an appealing price tag at all. I hate taking DeAndre Jordan against other centers who are kind of clones of him and very, very good rebounders. But if like he just kind of fills that 6K hole where I'll probably end up with some ownership there just because it makes the rest of my lineup work.
Yeah. I mean, not the best spot for him. Obviously, the Thunder, fantastic rebounding, but he's just too cheap. Really, all there is to it.
I don't think I feel really similarly about him as I do to Steven Adams, where I don't think they have a ton of upside. I don't think they hit a ceiling very often in this matchup, but they still play minutes, and since he's $900 less expensive than Adams on DraftKings, he's the one that I'd side with.
Okay. Barnes, $5,800, $5,600, and $20. If I get him, I get him. He's oh my god,
more appealing.
The most innocuous basketball player in the league for me.
More appealing on FanDuel.
Yeah, absolutely. DSJ, 5,200 FanDuel, 5,100 DraftKings, and I'd say drum roll, please, but maybe they'll just hammer really quickly. $11 on Yahoo. He's probably one of the best plays on the Yahoo slate. What do you want to do with him on FanDuel or DraftKings?
So the crazy thing was I wasn't even getting him on Yahoo yesterday at 11.
Really?
Yeah. I haven't looked. I don't think I did particularly well on Yahoo either, but I don't think that was why.
Key caveat, I guess.
Yeah, I got my ass kicked, but I wasn't getting Dennis Smith Jr. No, but yeah, I mean, I think he's obviously too cheap there. Some upside, I guess, on DraftKings, but not a priority.
Makes sense. I'd be fine if I got him on either FanDuel or DK, just because he's back, and I think he's probably a couple $100 below where he actually should be. But Yahoo for $11, I mean, it's an easy decision if you want to use him. Very little downside to $11 Dennis Smith Jr. if he's going to be playing.
Yeah, agreed.
With the possibility that he just goes berserk for that particular price. Him getting to 31 fantasy points on Yahoo doesn't exactly seem like some sort of major stretch. Anybody else on Dallas? I don't. No one else really feels that appealing to me. I'm not sure why we're projecting JJ Barea to have as much ownership as he does, but doesn't seem like today.
Yeah, I mean, Wes Matthews news, if he's out, Maxi's still cheap.
Yeah.
And he still started yesterday, which I was actually surprised about. I thought Dorian Finney-Smith would be back in the starting lineup. I assumed that Maxi's first two starts were because of facing Anthony Davis and Julius Randle, but they started him against Jeremy Grant, so I assumed that he would start in the same spot.
Final game, or do you have anything else here?
Nope, keep going.
Ooh, 42 minutes. We've got 18 minutes to close out this show. We probably won't get there because of Thrive props, but it'll be close. Phoenix Suns hosting the Golden State Warriors. 108.5 implied total for the Suns. 118.5 for the Warriors. 10-point favorites in Phoenix. Nice game for fantasy outside of the fact that the talent levels between these two teams are fairly large. DeAndre Ayton, 8K on FanDuel, 73 on DK, $32 on Yahoo. Am I crazy? But I kind of like DeAndre Ayton.
DeAndre Ayton's been an absolute monster.
I know. 1.3 fantasy points per minute over the last 30 days. He's been really good lately, and I think I'm slowly getting on board.
Yeah, I think you're taking a little too long. But yeah, I mean, he had said he hit the rookie wall, and now it appears that he's past that.
Ran through that shit like the Kool-Aid man.
Yeah, I mean, remember, maybe they handled it correctly. Remember there was that stretch where he was just playing 26 minutes a game no matter what?
Yeah.
And then now he's out here playing,
that one random game where he didn't start?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that one.
But played?
Yeah. Now he's out here playing 32. He played 39 against that. Did that Denver game go to overtime?
I don't know. But he has been playing bigger minutes.
39 minutes, though. What?
Let's see if I can get to the answer. It did not. Or I don't remember if Fantasy Cruncher notates that.
Okay, but either way, if it went to overtime, he played 34. If it didn't go to overtime, he played 39. Either way, he's playing monster minutes. And he's rebounding, which
is he not supposed to play today? We just got message in chat. No Booker, no Ayton. Sun's going to get run off the court. I know Booker's questionable, but I
hadn't seen it.
Yeah, I'm confident he's playing.
Seems like something that would have stuck in my mind if I saw it at some point.
Yeah. Booker is questionable, though. 9K on FanDuel, $8,300 on DK, $40 on Yahoo. Hopefully he holds that questionable tag for a while, but we know that he's playing because 8,300 on DK I think is kind of appealing.
Yeah, no, I agree completely. Just such a monster upside guy in this spot in particular, where like it's just so easy to envision him getting into a back and forth, shooting matchup with anyone on Golden State.
Broncos fired Vance Joseph. Dolphins fired Adam Gase. Bengals finally fired Marvin Lewis.
I thought he was the coach as long as he wanted to be.
Somebody must have stole those nude photos he had of whoever the hell owns the Bengals. Marge Shot.
Got to promote Hugh Jackson.
Oh God. Imagine that. Sorry, I realized that I just had like an ass load of DK alerts, and I was like, "What in the world happened this morning?"
So Jake Gruden still with the Redskins?
No news on the Redskins. I know who's not the Redskins coach, and that's Sean McVay.
Yeah.
TJ Warren looks good for me in Yahoo at $24. Bridges for 12 I could probably get talked into without any sort of real interest. Do you have any interest in anything on Phoenix outside of Ayton and Booker?
Not as a priority. Warren's minutes have been cut back a little bit, not surprisingly, with the addition of Kelly Oubre, and with Josh Jackson still playing, 24 to 26. So Booker and Ayton are the two that I really, 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 really want.
Alrighty. Dustin in YouTube chat says, they hire Hugh, I jump off the bridge.
It seems like a perfectly acceptable and not at all hyperbolic response.
Yeah. I mean, I probably wouldn't like talk you out of it, man. It's just like, I get it. What is there to live for if Hugh Jackson becomes the coach after putting up like arguably the worst coaching performance in the history of sports? Is there one worse in major sports than Hugh Jackson? Is he the worst coach ever?
It's gotta be up there.
I would guess that maybe some sort of baseball manager really could have got his clock cleaned over like 40, 50 games and got the gate. But
I would guess someone on some Knicks coach in the last 18 years probably.
Didn't like Hornacek or Mark Jackson or something get canned after like 2 games with the Knicks?
There was something, and like Isaiah Thomas had that weird, and Larry Brown was in there. There was someone that like was rehired. Like I don't remember. It was like they said that he was going to be fired if he didn't make the playoffs, and then he made the playoffs, and they gave him like a 5-year extension, and then fired him like
halfway
Derek
through
Fisher? Season. It might have been. I forgot he was even there.
It might have been Derek Fisher. Let me look at it. See if I can find it here.
And then there was that whole stretch of like Isaiah Thomas going from coach to GM to fired to like some other position.
Derek Fisher went 40 and 96, and I think they they fired him like 2 or 3 games into the season. No, I'm not remembering that correctly. Whoever the Suns coach was last year got canned like in the first week of the season.
Earl Watson.
Yeah. Hornacek was that's Fizdale. Kurt Rambis went 9 and 19 for the Knicks.
I forgot about him. Yeah, the Knicks definitely have had some interesting coaching.
Oh my God, this I don't remember. So Kurt Rambis coached. Well, these are 2 separate teams, but Kurt Rambis coached for 2 years in Minnesota. Went 15 and 67 and 17 and 65, and then the Knicks gave him the job, and he continued to go 9 and 19. Maybe don't give Kurt Rambis jobs.
That's amazing.
Alrighty, we'll talk about Golden State now. I mean, give me what your thoughts on the top 4 guys, because I don't think that we're talking about anybody else here, are we? Unless you want to punt with Looney or Jerebko.
Yeah, I'll say I think punting with Looney's fine. But yeah, so I mean, Durant and Curry both obviously really, really appealing, especially with the semi-new rotation now that Golden State's using, where you get about 25% of their minutes without the other one on the floor, instead of Klay Thompson getting those minutes alongside Dre at the start of the second and start of the fourth. It's Steph. And you just see Steph's production since the start of last year go up to about 1.6 points per minute without Durant. And then Durant is at like 1.4 without Steph. So it just makes them both, higher upside and, higher median plays. But then also just with Golden State not blowing teams out now, you're getting 38 minutes from these guys, 36 to 38 minutes. And it just makes them so much more appealing than they have been in previous seasons where you had to get super efficient games because they were going to play 32 minutes and then hit the bench. So, obviously really like these guys. Their price tags are coming up.
Yeah.
Durant, at small forward, it's obviously appealing. on DraftKings, the problem is just that, like, unless you're intentionally making, like game stacks here of, those guys in Booker or something like that, which I think is a great idea. It's just that, like, I'm not going to get Durant over Towns. I'm not going to get Curry over Towns. I'm not going to get them over Paul George probably, or probably close to Paul George.
Right.
I'd play Durant over George, but I think it's close. But the point is just that, like, it's a really crowded price point.
What's the best play of this group on DraftKings? Is it Clay at 6,200?
I have it as Durant.
Okay. FanDuel, I mean, they're all kind of just priced where they should be. Yahoo, I think Durant is dramatically overpriced at $48. Clay becomes appealing again. I don't know. I don't have a ton of interest in the Warriors here. And if Booker's out, that's going to be a scary proposition.
Yeah. This game, so the way I like to approach games like this, where obviously we expect there to be a lot of points and we know where those points are coming from, but none of the guys really project as the top, like, plays at, point per dollar, is just to make sure I force in some game stacks, because this game absolutely can go nuts, but there's just, like, opportunity costs to rostering all these guys individually.
Totally agree. I don't have anything else in this game.
Nah.
Cool.
I do think Looney's a good play, though.
Yeah, 3,700 on DK looks really nice. Flat minimum on Yahoo. I don't have a problem going to that on a 5-game slate. No problem whatsoever. If you need it.
Yeah.
Okie doke. Let's talk props. If you're interested, everybody, go to Thrive Fantasy. bit.ly/Awesemo will get you a bonus. Dropping the link in the chat again for everyone. And just so I make sure I get the numbers correctly, I will forget. $10 for a $10 deposit, $20 for a $100 deposit, and $50 for a $200 deposit. Let's talk our 5 favorite props. Okay, first one out of the gate. We're not talking about Al Horford over under 12.5. Kyrie 6.5 assists, I think, is interesting.
Yeah, I'm glad you didn't go to Horford. I haven't.
It's so depressing. 120 points you get for over 6.5 assists.
I have him at 6, so I think I would take the over.
I have him at 6.4, so I'm taking the over as well, even though I'm coming in under. That's just too much of a bonus.
Yeah.
Alrighty. We also have Luka Doncic. 26.5 points, rebounds, and assists. And the action is 95 for the over.
I have him way over. I have him at like 30 plus.
I have 30.7. So yeah, I am smashing the Luka over as well. Who else looks fun? Draymond Green, even action, 25.5 points, rebounds, and assists. That's one I wouldn't want to sweat.
Yeah. I might. Wow. All right. So I have 18.6 plus 6.5. So what is that, like 25.1 or something?
Yeah.
Good
line.
Yeah. I think I'll just not pick that one.
I have him at 25 on the dot. The line is at 25.5. Don't use that one out of the 20, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Do you have any others that stand out for you?
What do you have for Steph over under 29.5 points?
Find out.
110 for the under.
110 for the under. I have him at 28.5.
I have him at 32.4.
Really?
I also have him playing 38 minutes.
If he gets 38 minutes, that's going to be a hell of a game stack.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have him at 28.8. I have him for 35 minutes. So.
Yeah, if I put him back to 36, I get him to 30.7.
That's probably a coin flip for me just because of the juice on the under. It's pretty well balanced.
I agree.
Last one. Who looks good? Marc Gasol, 24.5 points and rebounds. Get a slight shade for the over.
You said 28.5?
24.5.
Okay. I have 23.1.
I have 24.8. So another fantastic line.
Yeah.
I get extra 5 points for the over, and I'm already over, so give me the over.
Yeah, I wouldn't pick this one, but I would take the under if I had to.
Alrighty. 5 Thrive props. bit.ly/Awesemo. Get you in for Thrive. All right, the rest of the day looks like this. Laffy will have the deep dive out in the early afternoon. We will have the deeper dive from 5 to 6, breaking this one down again. And then I will be live from 6 to 7, potentially with Chris Baggs. Up in the air if he's joining me or not. We'll take you all the way up to 7 o'clock, at which point we will all transition to ringing in the new year. I will be wearing a 90s outfit. I may potentially only have a mustache, which will be really unappealing for the viewers. So we'll see how that goes. Anything interesting going on for you for the rest of the day outside of the deeper dive?
I don't think so. Definitely not that interesting.
Alrighty. Well, thank you for joining us this entire year. We are closing out 2018 today. 2019 coming for us in the morning, which should be just a blast. We will be here, or at least I will be here for a morning show tomorrow. So come join in on the festivities of New Year's Day. Best of luck, everybody. We will talk to you next year.